if you go to one of the established venues, no disrespect to anything, it's kind of a standard experience. You know what to expect. You know what it's going to be like walking through the door to the bar to the stage. When you're doing a DIY show, you can upend all that. You can do something completely different. You can think about even just like the experience of walking through the space can be completely different. The experience of entering the show can be completely different. How the space looks is really important. So you might partner with a visual artist if it's a raw space, if it's maybe just a gallery space or a warehouse space. You could have, if someone that does projections, you can get them to illuminate a white wall. If you know someone that does sort of maybe more textural installation art, you can get them to decorate the space in sort of 3 dimensions. Or if it's a more sort of a space with character, like a Legion Hall, maybe it doesn't need anything, and maybe that's enough. I think that's still really important, is to take the time to think about what's the experience like for the audience member and for the performers, and maybe the stage doesn't have to go there. Maybe the stage can go over here. Maybe everyone's on the floor. It doesn't have to be your standard concert experience. If you're a novice event organizer, you might hear terms like PA and backline and not know what that means. So, in a sort of event production 101 level, a PA is your public address system. It's usually it can be used for maybe just the vocals. It could be used for putting your DJ music. If you're really, really doing proper live sound, then every instrument will go through the PA. Backline is usually the drums and amps that a live band would play through. If you're in a festival format, the backline is usually provided by the event organizer or the promoter. But for most smaller concerts, the band are expected to bring all their own instruments, including the backline. And it's a classic experience of herding cats for DIY show promoters to try and get musicians to share drums and amps. But that's part of the fun. Speaking as a promoter myself, it's really important to listen to your tech people. So that's why I think that finding someone you know and trust to do sound and help you in the tech side is really important. Maybe someone who's in school for live sound, that can really help. Someone that might volunteer or just do it for a few bucks. I always listen to my techs, and what they say goes, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of what you need to make a space sound good. I really pride myself on the best sound possible, even when the budget is small. So yeah, find a tech you trust and listen to your techs. So back to the difference between traditional and DIY venues. Most traditional venues come with a house PA and a house tech that runs it. Obviously, if you're doing a DIY show at a laundromat, there isn't going to be a sound system. So you're going to have to bring in everything. You're going to have to rent a PA and find someone to run it. Places like Long McQuaid can, really stretch a dollar for you, and you can do a lot with a small budget. Sometimes all you need is just a couple of speakers. Sometimes a band can just play acoustically, or sometimes a band can just play through their amps and maybe even have their vocals going through an amp. It can, really, you can scale whatever you're doing to the space. But again, back to listening to your techs, get your sound tech to make a list of everything that they think you're going to need to properly provide sound reinforcement for the space you're doing a show in, and bring that to your favorite local PA rental company. I strongly recommend getting to know the great people at Long & McQuaid. They've helped out every musician in town. Yeah, go get a car share, load it up with your PA, your monitors, whatever backline you need to provide. That's part of the fun. It's going to get all the gear, loading up the car, driving it down to the venue, putting things in the right space. It becomes kind of an adventure. So if you're doing a show in a new space that's never had events before, it's really, of course, worth asking the owner if the space is zoned for public assembly. They may not know, and if they don't, then I recommend calling the City of Toronto Music Office and finding out if they can help you out in that regard. You should also ask the owner if they will require you to get liability insurance. which has been an issue in the live music sector of late. So hopefully they don't. If you're planning to serve alcohol, you do need to get a special occasion permit. Unfortunately, these are only available as public events if you're a nonprofit. But maybe you could partner with a nonprofit or charitable organization. They might want to co-present the event with you. It's a tried and true method for DIY promoters to sell alcohol to help offset the cost of producing a show.